So can we have your name, kind sir? You're my lovely neighbour, and I know you are, but someone else mightn't know.
Terry New.
Terry New. And how old are you, Terry?
I'm 71, Laurie.
71. You're a pretty fit 71, I must say. You're painting away in your house there, flat out. I'm impressed. Making me look bloody terrible, neighbour.
No, I haven't done anything for so long, you know that.
So first surfboard. What was your first surfboard? Do you know, or?
Yeah, my very first surfboard was the one we built.
So you built it? Yeah, yeah. So how did you make it?
Lots of problems.
Yeah, yeah.
Huge problems.
Did you have a bit of foam, or what? How'd you get?
Polystyrene.
Polystyrene, yeah. So where'd you get that?
It was very difficult in those days, Laurie, to know where to go and buy these things.
Yeah.
Fortunately, my dad, he knew a bloke who owned Monterey Fisheries, as it was called in those days. It was a retail fish shop in Cameron Street.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he used to get this polystyrene up for his fridges and
Yeah,
deep
yeah,
freezers and what have you.
yeah.
And my memory's pretty vague on it, but I don't know how I could put this. Very vague in as much of how, why, or whatever Dad became friendly with this guy. But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guy sold fish. And,
Yeah, yeah. Would he have worked on his car or something like that?
Dad
Or?
worked on his car.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they were quite friendly.
Yeah.
And it was fortunate that Dad approached him one day and he said that his son was pretty mad keen on surfing after watching a few blokes out at Waipu,
Yeah,
just to have a bit of a go himself. And he spoke to him about the polystyrene because we had no idea where to go, what we were doing.
yeah.
Any damn
The
thing.
sort of thing you couldn't buy in a shop anyway, could you? That's for sure.
No, not in those days. So fortunately, we were able to purchase the polystyrene from Jack Enright.
Yeah. So how long a piece was it?
Now I thought you were going to ask me that.
Yeah.
When we finished our boards, they were probably just a wee bit over 7 foot long.
Yeah, yeah,
Might have been a wee bit longer.
yeah,
The best of my recollection, probably about 8 foot.
yeah, yeah.
Probably about 8.
And yeah. And so how did you go up making it? How did you go in and buy some fiberglass somewhere? What'd you?
Well, that was the next thing.
Yeah.
We had, well, firstly, to get into this surfing, it was through just continually going to Waipu Cove weekend after weekend because that's where we used to go.
Yeah. Did your family camp there, or just as young
no,
fellas
that's
you
way
went
back
out there?
when I was a young kid,
Yeah.
we used to camp out there.
Yeah,
Very, very young. We had caravans and what have you. But,
yeah,
later on in life, teenager,
yeah,
post-teen years, and what have you. There was just a group of us would go to Waipu Cove, play
Yeah.
there every weekend if we weren't out water skiing or
yeah,
other, other bits and pieces.
yeah,
And it was just seeing other surfers out there, about
Yeah.
3 of them from memory.
yeah.
Ross Edge.
Ross Edge, yeah, yeah.
Tui Worthy.
Yeah. Was Don Edge there?
Ross's brother.
Yeah. You
A
had
couple of other guys that I can't remember. There's
Yeah.
a total of probably about 5. And we got interested in
Yeah,
just watching these guys.
yeah. So what year roughly were we talking about when you start?
60, 61?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, about then.
yeah.
Yeah, it would have been about 60,
Yeah.
61.
Okay, so you got this foam. So how'd you shape it? Did you sandpaper it or saw it or?
From memory, we actually sawed it.
Yeah,
We sawed it in a shape that we thought we should have.
yeah,
Had no plans, going on sort of Ross Edge's board more than anybody else's.
Yeah.
Just in shape.
Yeah.
But we just sort of played it by ear.
so was that his?
Seat of our pants. But
Yeah, so that was his homemade one that he'd made, or?
Laurie, I don't recall, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
suspect Ross may have built his own one.
He
first,
did
like
build
that.
his own ones, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you shaped your foam,
Yeah.
so how'd you get on with the fiberglass? Did you?
Do you really want me to tell you?
No?
Do you really want me to
Yeah,
tell you?
yeah, yeah, of course.
Well, we found our epoxy, the resin,
Yeah,
and we found some glass, and I recall that we were able to get it from Cater Marine in
Oh.
those days.
yep, yep. They would have used it in the boat building industry, I presume, or
They,
something.
they were in they were in Walton Street in those days, and fortunately enough, my dad again knew Johnny Cater, and he spoke to him.
Yeah.
He said, hey, these guys are, he said, right, we've got stuff that can probably help them.
Yeah.
So we got our epoxy and our glass from there,
Yeah.
and away we went from there.
Yeah. So you started shaping this up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and
Well-
how'd you get on?
Well, first of all, with the shaping of our boards, what Harold actually noticed, my buddy who was a keen circle like I was going to become,
Yeah.
he noticed that Tui's board, Ross's board, Don, I think the guy's name on Don Edge's board, they always seemed to nosedive.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Whether that was a fact of life in those days or not, we didn't know.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, we're going to build our boards, and our boards are not going to nosedive.
Yeah.
So we put a little curve in the,
Oh, a bit of a rocker. Yeah. Yeah.
in the nose of the dam.
Yeah. Yeah.
After shaping it and what have you to what we felt was right, we tied the things down with the nose up
Yeah.
the whisker, and then we started the glassing side of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Harold, myself, that was basically Harold and myself. We had no idea what we were doing. We read the instructions and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So our first pot of epoxy was on, well, it didn't matter whose board it was, and that
Yeah.
there, of course.
Yeah.
We started plastering the epoxy on it, and the next minute we've got a molten mess in the middle of the bloody garage.
So she melted where
She melted big time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely big time.
Yeah.
Didn't completely destroy all the polystyrene,
Yeah.
but the sheet of polystyrene or the shape of our boards,
Yeah.
it was stuffed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely stuffed.
So
Nothing we could do about
Yeah.
it.
So what? Get some more? What did you? Cause
Well, this is something I've never ever told you, but in those days, my dad financed me into my first sheet of
yeah.
bloody polystyrene.
Yeah.
Um,
So he wasn't too thrilled about the.
So when I went home from Harold's place, because we were building these things in his shed, and when I went home and I very sheepishly told Dad what had actually happened, he said, well, there's £25 down the drain.
Well, that would have been a few weeks' wages, wouldn't it?
But 2 weeks wages,
Yeah.
roughly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it might have been 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was £25 a sheet anyway.
Yeah.
He just looked at me and he said, oh son, that's £25 down.
You're gonna have to do a bit of overtime or something.
He said, well, what the hell are you going to do about this? And I said, well, I really want to continue any chance of,
Yeah.
you know,
So you got another.
helping me out and
Yeah.
getting another piece. He said, have you stuffed the other piece of
Yeah.
poly? And I said, no,
Yeah.
everything's sweet there. So,
So how did you get on when you? Because you made a couple of boards. So how did you get around the problem of it eating into the?
well, Laurie, I don't know how it came to pass, but I believe really it was that Harold's dad,
Yeah.
he came to our rescue. He had naturally seen what had happened in his shed with us.
Yeah.
Polluteness
Didn't like the mess on his garage floor, probably.
and what have you. And he came to our rescue and
Yeah.
he actually mixed up the epoxy
Yeah.
and all that.
Oh, so it mightn't have been that it was maybe the mixture was not quite right or something. You
I
think?
suspect that's where
Yeah.
the biggest problem was.
Okay. Yeah. So
He
those.
came to our rescue and away we went from there.
Yeah. So though you had a photo of two boards.
Yep.
And Harold. What's Harold's second name?
Harold Watson.
Watson. Yeah. So you surfed with him a fair bit, or?
Harold and I were surfed,
Yeah. Yeah. And who was the lady in the photo beside? I think I asked you before. Beside Harold,
That was Harold's fiancée,
fiance. What was her name?
Betty Harvey.
Betty Harvey. Yeah. 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 So you made these surfboards, and you had a little bit of a logo on the front of them. What was that? What was that?
Well, I had Mickey Mouse on mine,
Yeah.
and Harold had Donald Duck on his.
Yeah.
Very apt.
Yeah. So you made both of those. Yeah. 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 And they surf all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Once you got to use them, I mean, they were, you know, they were probably dungers, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, small dungers.
They look very good. Yeah,
Oh, we're very pleased with them.
yeah, yeah.
Harold's didn't actually go in a very true line because we cut the skeg
Yeah.
just slightly off where we really needed it.
So what did you make the fin out of, the skeg out of in those days? Was it just a bit of ply
Yeah,
or?
5 ply, yeah.
Yeah, and just fiberglass that in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
5 ply.
yeah. So in your lovely photographs, you've got a photo of your car at Waipu Cove. So was that was Austin
A55.
A
Sorry, A50.
A50?
Yeah.
That would have been a pretty flash car in like 1960, 61, wasn't it?
Wasn't bad for me.
Yeah.
Pretty good,
Yeah. Look quite. How old was it?
1955.
So it's only 5, 6 years old. Yeah.
Done big mileage.
Big mileage. Yeah.
Big mileage.
I with those photos. Now, did your lovely wife take those photos, or did you take some of them at Waipu Cove?
No, I didn't take too many, because normally we're always out in the water.
Yeah.
But Judy took a lot of photos.
Yeah.
Betty took most of them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And that's with just a box brownie.
Boston.
Yeah. But yes, I've got something here. Now, it's probably something like that, eh?
Oh shit, no, older model.
Older than that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take that away.
Yeah.
But they're marvellous photos for that time because they weren't like it's not a digital camera, and if you sort of ran fast, they blurred and that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yep.
Terrible.
So I can see. How long did you carry on surfing? Most weekends you're into it.
Yeah, between water skiing and surfing and
Yeah.
going and getting tours,
Yeah.
scalloping and all that sort of stuff. We had a very, very busy life. And of course, yeah, what else was there? Yeah, surfing, water skiing, going and getting tours in the tour season,
Yeah.
scallops in the scallop season.
So where did you
But
surf?
mostly we basically lived our life in the
Yeah.
water.
Yeah. So where did you surf? Mainly Waipu Cove, or
Mainly Waipu Cove.
did you travel around anywhere much at all?
In those days, Sandy Bay were just coming in.
Yeah, yeah,
We did a lot of surfing there.
yeah. Did go out to Sandy's.
Oh, yeah, quite a lot.
Yeah,
But Waipu was our main base. Matapuri Bar,
yeah, yeah.
more especially when the big easterly was going.
That's a nice little rider now on the, yeah.
Beautiful
It
ride.
still does it today. Yeah.
Beautiful ride.
Yeah, fast.
But of course it's changed over the years too.
Yeah,
Long rides, Laurie.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
now they, like when you're out there and you see the guys there, they're just short bumpy ones.
Yeah. So what happened to your surfboards? Did you get new ones, or you sell them, or they
No,
just
no,
got
no.
wrecked?
No, we kept them all the way through.
Yeah,
But I don't really know what the hell happened to mine.
yeah.
Or where it went or whatever.
Yeah. So if we see that design on the surfboard, we know it's yours somewhere if it's still
Yeah.
floating around. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you didn't.
I don't know, and I don't know. Everything came to a wee bit of an abrupt halt. Because we'd done one of our, prior to getting married, Harold, Barry North and myself, we did our last tour around the North Island at Christmas.
And you took your surfboards with you?
No, this
Yeah.
time we didn't because we were in Barry's car.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
had a Mark 1 Zephyr.
Yeah.
And we'd done our trip and we got back to Whangarei and it was all early February, I guess.
Yeah.
And Harold, God bless him, Harold developed a bad abscess in his mouth.
So we're talking about a fairly young guy in those, yeah, early 20s or?
Yeah, he was the eldest of the three of,
Yeah.
well, of the four of us, because there were actually four of us, but there was only three that surfed
Yeah.
in our mob.
Yeah.
And Harold was my buddy, and it was Harold and I that mostly we did the surfing.
Yeah.
Barry King was a wee bit.
Yeah.
And Harold got a abscess in his mouth.
Yeah.
And he went to the dentist. And they put him under anaesthetic, and he never came out of it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he passed away.
Yeah. In the dentist.
And that,
Yeah.
And that's when things sort of came to a bit of a
Yeah.
bit of a stop.
Oh, I can understand that. Yeah. That
My,
would.
my surfing buddy had gone.
Yeah.
I went out a couple of times by myself.
Yeah.
And it's very vague from there on in, to be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah.
Laurie.
Well, you probably got married and starting having kids and all that, and
Oh, that
life got busier, I guess. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're surfing in winter. Did you have a wetsuit? What did you have in winter, or just
What are you talking about?
tough guys?
Didn't have wetsuits in those days.
Yeah, well, just people wouldn't know that. Yeah, yeah.
Never even heard of the bloody
Yeah,
thing.
so what'd you wear out? Just nothing, or a jersey or something if it was cold?
No, normally just a singlet and
Yeah,
set of swimming tops.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that you knew guys like Tui Wordley?
Yep.
Yeah. Were you? Was he a mechanic or something, or were you a mechanic at that stage?
I
Or?
was a mechanic.
Yeah,
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 Ross Edge was a brake specialist.
yeah. So you were all in Water Street there, were you, or at that
Yeah,
stage?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because in that,
I'm not sure what Tui was doing in those days, but I think he may have been a mechanic.
he was a mechanic, but for some reason he left being a mechanic and he went to driving fertiliser trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. He went to the Nationals and I think he got fifth or fourth in 1963 or something at one of the Nationals, so he was, yeah. But I see you guys doing handstands and stuff like that. Was everyone doing stuff like that in those days?
No, no.
Just you?
Well, everybody that tried them fell off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, But no, yeah.
Yeah.
I
And, and you've got a grandson that surfs?
I've got,
Two, well, they both surf.
I've got three grandsons.
And do they all have a go at surfing, or?
Yeah, three of them are.
Yeah, what are their names?
Thomas, who's
Yeah.
the eldest,
Yeah.
Jack,
Yeah,
second eldest, and Sam, the youngest of the four grandsons.
yeah,
My son's son
yeah,
hasn't quite got into it yet,
yeah,
but he's looked at his dad has still got his board from years ago,
oh yeah, yeah.
and my number three grandson's looking very, very closely at using that at the moment.
I suppose it's a pretty neat old board, is it?
Yeah, it's one of those old three finer things.
Yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Why do you think you guys started surfing? Just because everyone was getting in it into those days, or?
No, I think everybody wasn't getting into it when we started.
Yeah, just a small group.
I would say, I'm not sure on this, but I would think that Ross and Tui and Company
Yeah,
were probably the first in the north, or pretty close to the first in the north to actually start.
yeah, yeah,
And it was just through watching them religiously at Waipu Cove
yeah.
as that we became interested.
Yeah.
And that's when we went ahead and did our thing.
So do you have any days when the surf was just fantastic? There's probably got to be, you know, when it's just beautiful and sunny and it's peeling off about 4, 5, 6 foot. And did anything stand out a day like that when it's been fantastic, or did you have quite a few of them?
Often you'd get that at Waipu Cove.
Yeah, yeah.
Often.
So you got it quite regularly there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many guys out surfing when you'd go out?
Oh, half a dozen.
Half a dozen, and that'd be a crowded day, I suppose.
Oh, a huge crowd.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Any funny stories that anything ridiculous happened on the way surfing, or that nothing that stands out?
Well, not really, Laurie.
Yeah.
It was,
You weren't idiots on the road and ambushed other
well,
surfers,
we
and
couldn't afford to be idiots on the
yeah,
road.
yeah,
Even though there wasn't a hell of a lot of traffic on the
yeah,
road. We used to take it pretty easy.
yeah. Because if you read that 50 years ago in the local paper, some of the fines were pretty horrendous for. Nowadays it's just a joke, but some of the fines were horrendous. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
no surf accidents.
No.
No.
Oh, well, like I told you when we've been chatting, when I blew the cartilage, but I can't relate to whether it was surfing or rugby. I probably started playing in my rugby playing days, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
And then of course that blew out when I was surfing and sitting around on the beach and that.
yeah, yeah.
And that's probably another reason too why it kicked out.
Yeah. So did you have a cartilage operation? Yeah, that would have slowed you up for a while, wouldn't it?
Well, in those days, Laurie, it was a major thing.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It
Cartilage.
wouldn't have been keyhole or anything like that,
Oh, no.
do now. Yeah, yeah. So Waipu Cove favourite break?
Yep.
You didn't head up to Shippies or anywhere like that? Probably didn't even.
Yeah, we did, but
You wouldn't have gone around.
probably a little bit difficult to sort of explain to you whys and the why nots.
Yeah.
But it was so much easier to go to the cove or out to
It's
seemed
right
to make
there,
sense
right?
in
Yeah,
those days.
yeah.
And of course, you know, petrol was only about 3 bob a bloody gallon in those days too, of course.
Yeah, yeah,
But we were always scratching to
Yeah.
fill our cars and
Yeah.
keep them going.
excellent. So if we find your board, we know we'll have to bring it over and give it back to you, and you can put it on the wall in your garage, eh?
I don't think you'll find it, so,
You never know, it might turn up.
yeah.
All right, mate. Well,
That's 50 years ago, mate.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it would be. Yeah, would be.
Yeah, that's 50 years ago.
Well, you'll have to come out with us one day, and even if you just sit on the beach and watch, if you don't want, you don't get bored. But yeah,
I never got bored watching.
yeah.
Never. Like even when we were at Manapuri all those years.
Yeah. So did you camp at Matapuri or?
No, we had a batch out there for 25
Yeah.
years,
Yeah,
and I never actually got back into it.
yeah,
But when the comps were on over at Sandy's, we'd go over to it religiously.
yeah.
Nev Brunker was our neighbour
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. So you were right next door to Neville. Yeah.
at Manapuri.
Yeah. I know where it was. Yeah.
Nev Brunker and the Newbury boys
Yeah.
and those guys would trundle over.
Yeah.
Well, considerably younger than me, of course.
Yeah.
But no, we all got on pretty well.
Yeah.
And we used to, oh, there you go. With the tinny that I had at Matapuri,
Yeah.
I would say that we were probably pretty close to the first guys that started scurfing,
Yeah.
you know.
Just in the river there, or out in the main beach.
Out in the bay.
Yeah.
With their surfboards and retainers.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun too.
Oh,
Yeah.
a hell of a lot of fun.
Did you get right up on the nose too when you did?
They got right up on
Yeah.
those.
Yeah. So I don't know how that works, but
But Perry was very, very good.
yeah.
Nev, big gangly Nev, he wasn't quite so good. Tommy O'Hagan was quite well. Did
Yeah.
Quite well.
Yeah.
But Perry was probably the pick of the bunch.
Yeah.
He just couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah. So you spent hours and hours just.
Just hours and hours and
Yeah.
hours. Pulling these guys around on their surfboards. Yeah, it's brilliant. Well, that's come back years now,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah. Pretty. Like you did skiing too at times, so that probably would have helped you, eh?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yeah. Excellent, young Terry.